Hi guys, it's Michelle. This morning we're starting off with breakfast. I'm sipping on my coffee in my owl mug. If you know me, I'm obsessed with owls. They're all over the place. So yeah, that's a little fun fact about me. Anyway, back to breakfast. My friend Maylin was asking me how to make pancakes. I'm going to show you a couple different ways. We have blueberries, strawberries, bananas, whipped cream, all kinds of fixings for the pancakes, but you can just keep it simple and use syrup. That's delicious anyway. Anyway, come cook with me. We're gonna make breakfast. I'm gonna show you how to cook it on a griddle, and I'm gonna show you how to cook it on the stovetop if you don't have a griddle. We're also gonna make turkey bacon, and I have chicken sausage, which is really good. I got it at Costco in the frozen section. Let's see what we make. We might make scrambled eggs as well. The girls are hungry, so I'm gonna get to cooking. For the sauce are half a cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla. I have here 1 tablespoon of cornstarch mixed into 3 tablespoons of water. I have a cup of water and 3 cups of blueberries. Since we had so many blueberries, I decided, hey, let's make a sauce. Okay, that's hot. So I'm gonna put half of our blueberries, more or less, into a hot pan with water. It's on medium heat. And I'm going to add the sugar. I'm going to add the vanilla. I'm going to let this cook down till the sugar dissolves and the blueberries start to burst. You want to create a sauce. I'm going to add the rest of the blueberries at the end. Softened up in the sauce, but you'll still have a bite of blueberry, so it'll be like a saucy blueberry. I want this to come to a boil, so I'm going to put it up. Once this comes to a rolling boil, I'm going to reduce it to low and just let it cook down until the sauce gets thick. Before that comes to a boil, we're going to add the slurry. And that basically is going to help thicken our sauce. So now this is at a rolling boil. For some reason, I can't say that. I tried 3 times. We are going to lower the heat. I'm going to put it on low. So right there around simmer. We're going to wait 2 to 3 minutes and see how thick the sauce is. If it gets too thick, you can add a little bit of water. And then you just keep checking to see how it is. You can see that it's already becoming kind of saucy. And the blueberries are starting to break down. So let's give that a little bit to thicken. As we wait for the blueberry sauce, I decided, hey, I have strawberries too, so let's do strawberries. I have about a pound of strawberries. I had a 32-ounce container from Costco, so I just split that in half. 2 lemons. I need around half a cup of lemon juice. I have a 1/4 cup right here of water, of liquid. So if this doesn't give me enough, I'll just add a little bit more water. And we have the same half a cup of sugar. We need to hull these strawberries, so I have a handy dandy straw, and let's see how that goes. So now we're going to hull these strawberries. You get one of the strawberries, put it face down. Let's move this so you can actually see. We'll get the straw, and we're going to just poke the straw through and pop that hull out of the other end. See how easy that is? This can get a little bit bitter, so all you're left with there is a strawberry with a neat little hole in it. So if you were doing cream-filled strawberries, this would be awesome. We're gonna get finished with our strawberries, and then we'll start a strawberry sauce. By that time, our blueberries should be done. So now that we've finished hulling all the strawberries, I'm gonna put them in the pot. I'm gonna add the sugar, and we only got a 1/4 cup of juice from the lemons. So I put, that with a 1/4 cup of water. We'll just leave it like that and see how it goes. I'm gonna get this stirred up a little bit. I didn't bother cutting up the strawberries because these are just gonna reduce. It's kind of like making a jam or preserves. I wouldn't put that much water if I was making a jam or preserves, and I'd put a little bit more sugar because you want that to thicken up, but that's all right. We're making sauce today. Also, if your sauce is too runny, that's another tip. You can add a little bit more sugar, even though that's probably not the way you want to go, but that'll help thicken it up. We actually want this to come to a rolling boil as well, and we're just gonna let it cook down. This one will take around 20 to 30 minutes. This for ice cream, you can use it for desserts. It's very versatile. And now these have started to boil. So I'm gonna reduce the heat. I have it now at a medium high. I'm gonna reduce it to medium and just let it cook down. Now our blueberries are done. This still looks a little thin for a sauce, but keep in mind that this, as it cools down, is going to thicken up. And now I'm going to add the rest of the blueberries that we reserved, and they're going to warm up and loosen up in the sauce. It will release some more liquid, but this should thicken up nicely. If it gets too thick once it cools, you can add maybe a teaspoon of water at a time until you reach your desired consistency. We're checking on our strawberries now. They've been boiling for around 5 to 8 minutes. See how they're starting to soften up? You can actually smush them. And that sauce is starting to form. Look at that. You can smell the strawberries all over the house. House smells like strawberries and blueberries this morning. Not a bad thing to wake up to. So while that's finishing, I'm cooking up some turkey bacon to go with our breakfast. Guys, so this turkey bacon is great. We got it at Costco. No surprise there. I spent so much money there, it's ridiculous. But it's really good. My daughter calls it steak for some reason, even though she's had steak. This is like, Mommy, can I have some turkey steak? Go for it, honey. It's turkey. For the blueberry pancakes, we'll need 1 cup of blueberries, 1 egg, 1 cup of flour. This is 2 teaspoons of baking powder. In here, I have 2 tablespoons of sugar. I have a pinch of salt, and I also have some baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon. Here, I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter, a 1/3 cup of milk, and a full teaspoon of white vinegar. You don't want to mix this with the milk like I mixed all these things here, because then you'll make buttermilk and you don't want that to happen. We are actually using vinegar as our secret ingredient to activate along with the baking soda and baking powder to make these really fluffy, since the pancakes will fall a little bit when you add the blueberries. Start with a bowl. I'm going to add all the dry ingredients to this bowl. So that was the flour. This is the sugar, the baking soda. Let's get all that in there. The sugar, the baking soda, the salt. I have a little bit of flour left in there. And then we'll put the baking powder. You want to whisk all that together. Then you can add your wet ingredients. I'm going to beat the egg a little bit, make it easier to incorporate the full thing. And I'm going to add the milk. So as we're starting to mix this up, I'm going to add your melted butter. We don't want to over mix this batter. And that goes for all pancake batter. You don't want to over mix it. It works well, nice and lumpy. If you start mixing it to death, it'll fall flat and you'll have very thin pancakes. And when that's almost done, we're going to add the blueberries. That's quite a bit of blueberries, but it'll work. I know people add more, but then all it is blueberries, and the girls won't eat it if there's too many of them. And then we're going to take the blueberries out of your whisk. The longer you let this mixture sit, the fluffier the pancakes will be. Now I think they're gonna be super fluffy enough as it is because we did add the vinegar, the baking soda, the baking powder. If you see, it's already starting to bubble up. It's starting to activate, and these are gonna be super fluffy pancakes. Our griddle is nice and hot, so while it's hot, we're gonna put some butter. Let's grease it up. You want it at a medium high, so I set mine to around 375. You grease up the griddle, let that heat up, and then just for the simple fact that I want my pancakes the same size, I'm going to take a measuring cup. You see how that is thick? And I'm going to spoon these ridiculously thick pancakes onto a hot griddle. So once it starts bubbling, then we're gonna flip it over, but for now we're just spooning it. Make sure you get a good amount of blueberries in each one. And we're gonna let these cook. If you leave the batter longer, this will just thicken up and thicken up. And then you might as well have biscuits. We're gonna wait for these to bubble up. Once it starts forming bubbles, we'll flip them. And didn't realize that I wasn't recording. The griddle was kind of hot. So look how fluffy these things are coming out to be. Now when I flipped this one on the side, let me show you. It went and touched the edge. This griddle is so cool. You can separate that because it tilts forward to drain, and that makes it for easy cleanup if that happens. So now I'm going to show you how to do one on the stove. I'm going to show you how to do the same thing on the stove top. Make sure your pan is hot. I'm going to pour the last remaining one. I realize I may have not shown the vinegar going in, but I promise you I put vinegar in here. So we're just gonna let that one cook. Let's try to reshape it. If that happens, you can just leave it as is. I'm sure nobody complains about that. Or you can try to reshape the pancake. You want to wait basically till it starts bubbling. This one's starting to bubble, but you also want to check the bottom because you see it smoking. The pan is very hot. So I'm going to lift the pan and I'm going to flip. Look how nice that pancake looks. Now we're going to let this one finish cooking. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit so it doesn't burn. And then this one will join its little friends over on my plate. Once you have this griddle set to the appropriate heat, those pancakes look amazing. So we're gonna let this one finish cooking down as well. This one's ready. We're good to go. You can see the difference in color. That's funny. Nobody's gonna care once you drizzle it with syrup, once you put whipped cream, whatever you wanna put on top, even if it's just butter, everybody's gonna eat it. See, she wants syrup and whipped cream. She's already so excited. Sometimes when you set up, you spill the milk. And that's okay, just clean it up. Here we go again. I'm gonna set the quantities of these in the description like I always do. But basically you have flour, you have an egg, you have milk, you have sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda, all in one, melted butter, and of course vanilla, because I add vanilla to everything. We are going to mix our dry ingredients first. Just whisk that all up, make sure they get all nice and incorporated. This time I'm going to whisk our egg and add it to our milk. We want to mix together all the wet ingredients. And I just think it's easier if you beat the egg before you stick it in the milk, because then good luck. It just goes for a swim in there. So I'm going to whisk this, and we'll save the butter since the milk is cold. I'll add this to our flour, add the melted butter, and whisk away. Remember, you don't want to over mix pancake batter. You want it to be lumpy. If you whisk away too much, then you will lose all that rise that you're getting from adding the baking powder and the baking soda. You'll lose all that and they'll be flat pancakes. So basically, you just want to mix till the flour has been fully incorporated. That's when you use both hands. And then we are ready to go. Just make sure there's no flour on the edges. All done, ready to cook them. So now our griddle is hot again. I'm gonna start pouring these. I kind of let it sit too long. Didn't mix that one enough. So when this happens, you can add a little bit more milk, or you can just keep going like I am apparently. Keep going. These are going to be super fluffy pancakes. And again, if you don't have a griddle, you can make these on the stove top like I made that other blueberry one. You can thin out the batter as well with a little bit of milk if you let it sit too long. The longer you let it sit, guys, the thicker it's going to be. Now, I'm going to take some sliced banana, only because we have so much banana, and I don't really feel like making banana pancakes necessarily. I'm just going to put some here, and with a little bit of batter that we have left over, I'm going to cover it up a little that way. I mean, you don't need to. You can let the bananas caramelize. I don't want them to burn though. We're messing with this pancake too much. It's going to be amazing. You can do that, and every now and then you get a little bite of fruit. You can do this with strawberries. You can do it also with blueberries. If you forget to add them in, or you don't have enough, you want to make sure the blueberries are evenly dispersed out, then you can do that. Now we're waiting, see if these things are joining together. Let's put the heat up a little bit. I'm missing my little helper. I had someone that was going to come and help me, but he seems to have gotten camera shy. So I'm checking. You want to get that? You want to take it? Take it. We have a little lady over there trying to eat the pancakes already. We're just going to let this keep cooking. Give me a second, Mama. We're going to let this keep cooking. Wait for the bubbles to start popping out, and I'm going to flip them. And now we're going to flip these. You want to separate these two buddies here. Come on. We saw bubbles starting to form. So you want to get these flipped over. If they touch the edge of the other one, just make sure you flip them one more time to get it fully cooked. That way you're not eating raw batter, because this does have an egg. There we go. They're getting thick, guys. All right, let's wait for those to finish. Look how thick these are getting. You can see them rising right here. Look how nice these look. Mariella is going to town on the pancakes, the blueberry pancakes already. So I'm going to flip these one more time, the ones that touched the edge. I think that's it. Just to make sure, let's flip this one. Just to make sure we get any batter that may have touched the edge of the other one cooked away, but otherwise they're done. On these, you can see the bananas were covered, and you can see them peeking through over here, and that just adds for a pop of fruity flavor. Let me go help her with the syrup because she can't seem to squeeze it out. These are done, so I'm going to take, well, today really is disaster day in my kitchen, guys, but that's okay. These are the banana ones. I spilled the milk and I said, you know what? I've been meaning to clean under the toaster oven. You never know what crawls in there, or rolls in there, I should say. And then I spilled some chicken. Well, I dropped some chicken that I was gonna make quesadillas with later, and that's okay too. We have to just go with the flow. Sometimes, like I said in one of my other videos, things are not that graceful in the kitchen. Anyway, look at these. These look amazing. Let's plate. So here are all our pancakes, guys, the sauces, and the turkey bacon. The girls are eating. I'm going, you don't want syrup? That's okay. I'm going to put some of this. Look at this. So I said earlier that you can thicken this by adding extra sugar. Make sure you put a pinch of salt to counterbalance that sweetness if you're going to do that. I'm going to pour some over the blueberry pancake. And I'm going to pour some of our strawberry one. This one's a lot thicker. You can thin it out by adding a little bit of water at a time if you want. I'm going to leave it like this because we're going to use it to top ice cream later. And the girls already love it. Well, at least one of them. And then if you want to get creative, or you really, really want dessert, you can have some whipped cream. Finish up this plating. I'm going to clean that up and we'll get to tasting. The girls are eating and having a blast. I'm kind of tired, guys. All that cleaning up from the spilled milk, you know, and the chicken. I dropped a chicken thigh on the floor. Guess it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's still more cleaning. Anyway, look at this plate. So pretty. That's my nephew. He was gonna help me, but he didn't. So now we're gonna taste. I'm gonna start first with the classic pancake with the strawberry syrup. Let's see here if I can grab it. That pancake is nice and fluffy. The strawberry syrup, you can taste the lemon tang in it. It's so nice and sweet. It's delicious, and that whipped cream helps. Now let's have the blueberry one. Super fluffy. You can taste the sweetness from the blueberry, from the actual fruit. You can also taste the vanilla in the blueberry syrup, or I should say saucy blueberries. And then my all-time favorite, I like salty food better than I like sweet food, so for me, just give me the bacon, maybe some chicken sausage, some eggs, and I'm good. But I was making this for a friend, and my girls love it. Do you love it? They love it. Look at that. You love it? Okay, go finish eating. Guys, I actually do have to thank my nephew for making me this excellent coffee this morning. He knows without it, his Thea doesn't function. Thanks for cooking with me this morning, guys. Here's my little one trying to get in on the action. If you like everything I made on this video, please comment down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more recipes. Bon appetit!